It's another grammar class on the past perfect tense. In our previous class, we talked about the present perfect tense, which is the use of has or have plus the past participle. In this very class, we want to look at another tense, the past perfect tense, which tells you to use had plus the past participle. It is easier because here you don't need to use a different auxiliary verb. Every person takes had. And what is past perfect tense all about? It is that very tense that tells us that there are two actions and one happened before the other. How do you know the one that happened before the other? That is where the past perfect tense comes in. So the past perfect tense is that tense that tells us that there are two actions and one happened before the other. To know the one that happened before the other, we use had plus the past participle. So he, she, it, had. I, we, you, they had. Simple. And then you take the V3, which is a past participle of your verb. Escaped, stolen, chosen, taken, sung, drunk. That is how to use the past participle. So we can have expressions like he had eaten the poisoned food before I came in. Correct. Two actions. He had eaten the poisoned food before I came in. That means my coming in was a little bit late. He had already eaten the food. All right. And we can have expressions like the criminal had escaped before the police came in, or the criminal had escaped before the police arrived. Beautiful. When you look at this, it shows that the police actually came, but by the time they came, the criminal had already escaped. In a situation like this, we use had and the past participle to indicate the action that took place before the other. We can also have a kind of conditional statement like, if someone had taken precaution, this wouldn't have happened. This simply means that we did not take the precaution, the measures that we are supposed to be taking to avoid the predicament that happened. That is what it means. So it is simple to use the past perfect tense. When using the past perfect tense, you can also express it in three ways. The first expression I gave is that he had eaten the poisoned food before I came in. To put it in negative, you can say he had not eaten the poisoned food before I came in. And as an interrogation, you can ask the question, had he eaten the poisoned food before I came in? Good job. And the other one, the criminal had escaped before the police arrived. That's a positive statement, an affirmative sentence. Now, to put it as a negative, what do you say? The criminal had not escaped before the police arrived. Good job. Now, as a question, what do I say? Had the criminal escaped before the police arrived? Good job. You see, it's very simple, and the same happens for the other ones. All right, that is all for the past perfect tense. We're going to do some exercises to see how far you've grabbed the lesson. Stay with me and don't go anywhere. Remember, the more you practice, the more you learn. Constant practice makes perfect and yields better results. Let's do this together. One. Okay. Number one, you need to bear in mind that in this kind of task, you are to use the verbs in the brackets. And these verbs are the base. You use the verbs in the bracket and transform them to the V3. So, I hope you know your V3 very well. Okay, we are still on the use of had plus past participle of the verb. Now let's do this together. Number one, the criminal. There is a gap. Already another gap. And we have a verb in the bracket, escape, the base, before the police arrived. What are we supposed to do? Think about it. I give you 2 seconds. Okay, the criminal had already escaped before the police arrived. Good job. Number 2, if you study hard, you would have passed your exams. Think about it. 3 seconds. Good. If you had studied hard, study becomes studied. You remove the Y and change it to IED, irregular verb. If you have not watched that video on the formation of regular and irregular verbs, you're missing a lot. In fact, it will be almost difficult, a daunting task for you to attempt questions on past perfect tense and present perfect tense. And you need to know your V3 very well. Number 3, before the literature class, the students already watch the drama. Before the literature class, think about it. The students had, meaning that when the teacher came in, they had already watched the drama. They already have the knowledge about the drama. Okay, had already watched, another regular verb, ed, the drama. Number 4, this is a little bit dicey. In this case, I would like you to find out which one happened first. I tell John not to drive because he, the verb drink a lot. Think about it. Which of these actions happened first? Is it that I discovered that he had already drunk? So, in order to avert an accident or something that would happen, I told him not to drive. So we have I told John not to drive because he had drunk a lot. The drinking happened before I told him not to drive. Okay, so the drinking was the reason for telling him not to drive. Good job. Number 5, even if a conditional statement, even if a gap invite them, they wouldn't have come. Even if he had invited them, they wouldn't have come. Correct. All right. Now let's look at the last one. Before I, there is a gap, and in bracket you have come to school today. They, another gap, already learn English language. What do you think should be the answer? Drop it right under the comment section, and I promise I shall be there to vet it. If this is the kind of video you would like to watch regularly, do well to like, share, and subscribe. When you subscribe, make sure you turn on the notification bell so that you will always be the first to get my uploads. For those that were able to score the 5 on 5, bravo! It shows that you're doing well at the level of intermediate English. But for those that couldn't, probably you had 4, you're still doing well. But if you had less than 3, it could be that you're still learning. So keep watching my videos and don't give up until you get to that very grade you're looking for. I remain Madame Udozo Cynthia, Ifoma, always bringing English right to your doorstep. Have a nice day and see you in my next class.